Hey, what's up, everyone, and welcome to another Chicago Beer Pass beer review. We're drinking some fresh beer this week or on this video. I don't know. They don't come out weekly. So we got some Bell's Best Brown Ale.
I like breast brown.
Breast brown.
I like breast brown a little better.
So this was packaged 8/09/2018. 2018.
Dude,
So a few months ago.
wasn't long ago. You know, Bell's is bringing it with these bottle caps too.
The owl.
This is the same owl that's on the label is on the bottle too.
I have honestly not picked up a Bell's beer in a while. We talked about Bell's Oarsman on the last episode, Chicago Beer Pass.
Oh yeah, the
Right
Faux
there.
Bab joint, right?
But a lot of their beers are in cans. I don't think Best Brown is in cans. Well, here we are drinking out of a bottle, so obviously not. And this is one of the beers that I feel like is a perfect Thanksgiving beer. That's why I picked it up for this review. Thanksgiving is like right around the corner. Or you might be watching this and it might be months away. But it is a perfect like food beer.
Yeah.
It's like has everything you want. It's malty. It's sweet. It doesn't interfere with what you're eating. If you're eating most of like what we probably are is Midwest, just kind of like cheesy.
You know, like chili.
Wait, chili? You got chili on Thanksgiving?
Oh, did we say Thanksgiving? Sorry.
I was like, damn, I didn't know.
I got chili on the brain. Sorry. man.
Chili. It goes great with like all those like, corn or green bean casserole, potato salad, sweet potato, turkey. I don't know, just every like all those brown foods.
Yeah, I mean, like, foods that you eat at the changing of the seasons. You know, this is perfect for that. I like on the bottle it says that, hey, it's 6 months. Shelf life is 6 months.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is cool. And then, man, you don't really get around to brown ales a lot these days, right?
No, yeah, that was another reason I picked this up because I was like, there's just not enough of brown ales.
I want to say the Maduro from Cigar City.
Yeah.
That's a brown.
But that has like that. It has a little twist, right?
Yeah, and then I don't know what they do to it, and it just literally like the list is so short. I can't even name 5 brown ales right now.
Off the top of your head, no.
No, I can't.
But you get super dark, like cherry chestnutty kind of color with it, and a nice head on it. So it makes you think there's like some good hops in there, or it's pretty well fresh here.
I tell you something, man. I remember, and Greg Hall came up in the last episode too, and I remember there was an episode. I was at Goose Island, and there was this list of like beers, Midwestern beers, like quintessential Midwestern beers that had just come out, right?
Okay.
And he was interviewed for it, and he was like, "I tell you something, man. I wish that Best Brown Ale was on that list."
Oh, nice.
I mean, because I think it's one of those beers that kind of, it speaks to that generation of people that went on to be brewers at older breweries, and that this is a kind of example of what they wanted to achieve.
Okay. That would be a fun list. Maybe we should put together for the website, like 5 Midwest craft beers you forgot about that you should drink, or something like that.
Yeah.
And Best Brown might be there.
Yeah.
Stuff like Goose Islands, like what was their bitter? Their ESB, right? Don't they have ESB?
Yeah, they do. But Honker's Ale is an ESB.
Honker's Ale, yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
If Honker's Ale was on tap at the Beat Kitchen, that would be the first beer I got.
Yeah.
Would be Honker's Ale. Yeah.
But Best Brown, it has that like sweet caramel kind of aroma. It's such a full body to this beer.
And then it's not all about the malt. The malt's got some moves. It kind of like like biscuity, nutty, almost like chestnuts kind of.
Yeah. It leads you in, if you're drinking it with Thanksgiving dinner, it leads you into dessert. Like it has that like sweet caramel chestnut kind of thing going on that now like you're finished, you kind of have that little sweet taste in your mouth and you're ready for pie and then you're ready for those stouts.
Yeah, it's I think they do a good job of keeping the malt in check, because like I could have this with my pecan pie, and not feel overwhelmed by I just got sugar just overloaded. It's
Right.
not an overload of sugar. There's actually a nice amount of like herbal hops. There's a nice play on that. That's kind of making it cool for me.
Yeah, definitely. And at 5.8%, it's not gonna knock your ass. It's not gonna knock you on your ass. You might be sleeping from the turkey, and you're not like crushing them like you might from many other beers, especially like hazy beers or like like sparkling lager kind of thing where you're just like knocking them back and they're gone. But this, it's like full body enough that you're like kind of full drinking it, so you don't drink a lot of it, which is good and bad, I guess, on Thanksgiving.
Well, yeah, but no, yeah, you bring up a good point. Like, yeah, this can be the last beer you have for the night, and like it's yeah, it's interesting enough to be. It's not quite a digestive, but it's interesting enough to be something you're happy to finish your night with.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're not. It's also one of those beers that you can get, and it's so rarely available in the Midwest that you don't feel bad if you're like, oh, I don't want to drink it. Like, you drink half of it, you're kind of like, you pour it out. Where if you're drinking many of those, like, barrel-aged stouts we mentioned, or those $15 4-pack haze beers, you feel bad, right?
Yeah.
Like, you pick this up, it's $9 6-pack or $7.99, I think, for Bell's.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And, they stick to their guns, too, with, like, labeling. I noticed, like, I say it all the time, I think Two Hearted is probably, Two Hearted is the great American ale. Right, like that's
Okay.
that's one of my 3 favorite beers. Oh, but if you look at Two Hearted and Best Brown or Hopslam, they have a commitment to like they've come out with the label, and the label is the label. It never changes, right? Like it's almost like Lagunitas in some respects.
I feel like this changed. It didn't used to
think
have an
so?
owl. It didn't used to have an owl
No?
on it. I thought it used to be white.
Yeah,
Or am I thinking of a different Bell's beer?
I don't know, man.
I don't know. I don't know if the owl has always been on the
Now
best.
you got me curious. It definitely was not on the cap.
No, that's new.
Yeah.
Because
But-
that's expensive.
I just like how all their stuff kind of always looks the same all the time, and they're not trying to be trendy. They're not trying to keep up with anything. They just want to stay in their lane and make their beer.
Yeah.
And they crank out some fun stuff. Yeah. My favorite Bell's beer is the Oracle. It's the double IPA that they have when Hopslam is off season. So this is the off season double IPA. I like the Oracle a lot.
Yeah. I love that Oarsman.
Oh man.
They're just like Bell's would be one of those breweries that, especially here in the Midwest, if it went away or someone bought them, it would sting like a little more than just someone else. Like you'd be like, end of an era sort of thing, right? Because they're part of that class of '88 as well. So they've been around. This is their 20th anniversary.
They're probably 30.
30th? Oh,
Right.
30th
Yeah,
anniversary.
yeah.
Sorry, yeah. Can't do math today.
Yeah, when I had this book about the Midwest, beers in the Midwest, and one of the signatures I was most excited to get was up at Great Taste. It was Larry Bell's daughter. She was at the booth, and she signed it. Yeah, because they got a lot of people into beer. A lot of people that went on to start breweries got into beer because of these boys.
Yeah, Bell's and Goose Island launched many careers. So.
Facts.
And they're still making great beer. They may not be making the cool kid beers every week or every day, but they are always good. They play a lot around on social media. I know Bell's and Goose Island took over accounts
Oh yeah, I remember
that one day, so that was good. And so they have a lot of fun. And the brewery is super nice over in Kalamazoo because they have that they have that
The
outdoor
eccentric cafe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. My first ever trip to Pure Michigan. That was the first stop we all agreed that we had to make. Mm-hmm. I think we hit Floyd's, then we went to Kalamazoo, and on the way back we hit New Holland.
Nice.
And we all disagreed on other stops we should go. The only stop that was a consensus was this spot.
Was Bell's.
No, we gotta go to
Damn.
Bell's.
Yeah. It's nice. And digging this beer. It's right for the season. I don't know. Leaves changed colors, and
I tell you, man, you have some good finds, man. Because we get into we get into the trendy stuff, but then we always find our way back to stuff like this, which that's cool. Yeah.
so if you can pick it up, grab some Bell's best brown. Look for that date, 6 months. Take care.
Cheers.